Hi, and welcome to Yoga for Change video channel. My name is David. I'm one of the instructors for Yoga for Change, which serves four populations. We serve at Hope youth. We help people that are going through substance abuse, and we help veterans and incarcerated. And I do most of my teaching with folks that are in the carceral system. Some sentenced to yoga, some of them that volunteer to come. So anyway, I was asked to do this class, and I always think it's really good to have what I kind of call a beginner's class. So this isn't going to be gentle yoga. It's going to be a beginner's class and talk primarily about breath and just coming and arrive at your mat. And then we're also going to focus on our breath. And I always think, breath is this air that comes in and out of our nose. But I think if you want to take the translation from Greek, the Greek word for breath is pneuma, and pneuma also translate into wind, into spirit. So if as you're breathing, think of the wind coming across your body and maybe the spirit coming in and out of your body. So I'm going to focus on the sun salutations. Sun salutations, if you've done a yoga practice before, there are several versions of sun salutations. I'm going to do a stationary sun salutation, a sun salutation A, and a B. And I'm going to do it two different ways. I'm going to do it with holding the postures so you can see, feel, and understand them. But then we're going to do them with breath or with flow. And lastly, I'm just going to say that if you've met one yoga teacher, you've met one yoga teacher. So you might not like this class, and that's okay, but I don't want you to be discouraged from trying yoga and maybe finding another instructor or maybe another instructor or another instructor until you find a yoga class that works for you. So that being said, let's all get started. And just get yourself into an easy seated posture. For me, that's crisscross applesauce, sitting like this. Then maybe just straighten your posture up a little bit. Draw the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. And begin breathing through your nose, nice and slowly. Where your arms are lying does not matter, wherever it feels comfortable. Start noticing your breath. Notice the coolness as it comes in through the nostrils. Notice the warmth as it exits your body. In order for us to fully come onto our mat, we need to do that mentally, but also physically. And sometimes our physical movements can help our mind get there. So maybe just rock side to side. Feel your sit bones connecting to your mat. Just really feel and know that, hey, you're on your mat right now. Another thing that we tend to do, it's because maybe we're having some stress or just having things go on in our life that are new and different for us. We have a tendency to kind of cringe up our face. So just let your cheeks soften. Create a little space in between your teeth. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. I invite you to take 3 cleansing breaths with me. And that's a big, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out of the mouth. Ah. 2 more on your own. Breathe it in. Exhale it out. 1 more. Exhale it out. And return back to breathing through the nose. I'm going to take you on just a small meditation to help you get to your mat. Closing your eyes, imagine yourself near a creek or a river that you've been to before, or one that you want to make up in your mind. As you're looking out over that body of water, you can see the flow. You can see that water moving in front of you. As thoughts come into your head, maybe that grocery list, the to-do list, an email, let those things become part of the water and slowly flow away. One by one, let them enter your mind. Let them enter the water. Let them float away. So just slowly let your eyelids open, let the light come back in. We're going to take our arms up over our shoulders as high as we can, reaching for the ceiling. Just holding that posture, but not your breath. Taking another deep breath in, reaching a little higher. We're going to exhale the right hand over to the left knee, and then take the left hand behind you and prong it up. On an inhale, press your left hand into the floor, get your spine taller, pull with your right arm, and then exhale, twist. Maybe take your gaze back behind your mat. 2 more breaths here. Just breathe in, get tall. On an exhale, press your stomach up and in and find a little more twist. Another breath here. Inhale, tall. Exhale, twist. In your next inhale, we're going to reach back up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, the left hand goes to the right knee. The right hand goes behind you. And then we're going to inhale, get tall. Exhale, finding our twist, pulling with our left arm, pressing the right hand into the floor, getting taller. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Then inhale up towards the ceiling. And then bring the hands to the floor in front of you. And then just slowly walk them out, letting your body go as far as you can, trying not to round out the back, trying to keep the back nice and straight. Once your sit bones start to come up off the mat, that's where you want to stop. Go ahead and let your body relax a little bit here. I want you to take an inhale. And then exhale, press the stomach up and in, finding a little more tilt. And then on the next inhale, take your fingers and crawl ahead just another inch. And then exhale, tilt. And then 1 more, crawl forward 1 inch. Exhale, tilt, and relax. Let the head come down as close to the floor as you can. And then we slowly walk our hands back towards our body. And then we're going to move from a seated posture to a tabletop posture. So I'm going to show it 2 different ways. The first one I'm going to show you just as I'm going to be on my mat. So you stack your shoulders over the wrists, your hips over the knees, and you want to untuck your toes. Then I'm going to come and face the screen. What I'd like for you to do to warm up our wrists and our shoulders, the first thing we're going to do is just lean forward into our fingertips, trying to lift the back, the heels of our hands up off the floor, noticing what it feels like to use your whole hand to hold your body up right here. Noticing that feeling and taking that through the rest of the practice, allowing the whole hand to support the body. Leaning back, I want you to take your fingers and point them to the wide side of the mat. And then rock side to side, left and right, just till you feel resistance, never pain. I always share with everyone, listen to my instruction, but if your body talks louder than my voice, listen to your body. And finding some stillness here. Not everyone will be able to do this, but take the fingers and point them towards the knees. If you're able to do that, then I want you to just take your hips and just move them back a little bit. Again, until you meet resistance, getting a good stretch on the wrists here. And then come forward and take the fingers back in front of you. So now we kind of warmed up, and then I want to take the right wrist and press the back of the right wrist into the floor. And then we'll swap it out. The right palm goes down, the back of the left hand presses into the floor. And then the left palm comes down to the floor. I want you to take your left hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, look up at the ceiling. Then we're going to thread the needle. So it's an exhale. Bring the left arm underneath the right armpit. Bring your left shoulder down to the floor. Let your temple come down to the floor. Once you're there, you have options for your right hand is to prong it up in front of your face, or you can reach out in front of you, pronging it up out on the floor. Or if you want to go for the bind, you can take your hand around your back and put your hand on the front of your left thigh. Continuing to breathe here as we hold the posture. Then no matter where your right hand is, I want you to take the right palm, press it into the floor in front of your face, and then inhale your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring it down to the mat. Now we'll go to the other side. So inhale, take the right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, threading the needle, bringing the right shoulder down to the center of your mat. Your temple comes to the floor. Again, pronging up your left hand in front of your face, reaching out in front of you, or reaching behind you, trying to find the front of the right thigh. I want to take that left palm, press it down in the floor in front of your face, and then inhale, right arm comes up. And then exhale, it comes down. So from here, we're going to move to a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under, and then press your hips up and back towards the ceiling, framing your head in between your arms. So once you're here, if you want to walk your dog, that's bending the right knee, pressing the left ankle down, and then swapping it out, bending the left knee, right ankle down. Doing this with breath, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Continuing to walk it out. Then find just a little bit of stillness. I want you to practice pressing the fingers into the mat, trying to take some of the pressure off of the wrist, pressing your heels down, pushing the front of the mat away from you. I'm going to slowly walk the hands back towards the feet. Now we're just going to hang in a forward fold. Now take a look at your feet. See if you can get the outside edges of your feet parallel to the outside edges of your mat. If your hands don't touch the floor, go ahead and bend your knees as much as you need to get there. If you want to go to ragdoll, grab opposite elbows, and if it feels good, you get a hamstring stretch, rock side to side. Finding some stillness, let the hands come back to the mat. Take a big, deep inhale here. Exhale the hands to the waist. And then inhale up to standing, nice and slow. So from our standing posture, I'm going to show you mountain, which is where we start a lot of our postures from. So you want your feet about hip distance apart. if you have a block, you can take that block to the narrowest width and stick it in between your thighs, and then just press in on that block. This is gonna, when you press in on the block, your feet press down into the mat, your spine grows up towards the ceiling, and then just open your arms up out in front of you. Now, if you're an experienced yogi and you've practiced yoga before, you know what that sensation feels like. By putting the block in between the thighs, it helps you find it for the first time. So I'm going to remove my block and then stand in my mountain posture. Now, mountain posture can be passive, but it also can be active. So besides pressing our feet into the mat, getting an outward rotation maybe on our thighs and our legs, pulling our stomach up and in, our chest out, pull the shoulders up towards the ears, back and then down, trying to get a nice tall posture, drawing the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Extending our fingers as close to the mat as we can, and then coming back just 1/8 of an inch. And then adding a little strength into your stomach, tensing up those muscles, perhaps adding in some tension in your chest and shoulders. And if you're not looking in the camera, you can scrunch up your face just like you ate a lemon, creating as much stress as you can, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Just let all that tension go away. So now I'm going to start with the sun salutation series. I want you to bring your toes together, if that's comfortable for you. And then take the arms up and over the head, maybe a little back bend. And then we're going to exhale all the way to a forward fold, reaching to the floor, bending the knees as much as you need to get there. And then we're going to inhale halfway, heart as high as the hips. And then exhale back down to the floor. And then inhale, sweep the hands up, reverse swan dive, up towards the ceiling. And then pull the hands down in front of the chest. So I've done one facing, I'm going to do one sideways. So inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. I'm going to do one more of those, just calling breath. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. That is a stationary sun salutation. Now we're going to do a sun salutation A. So if you're not standing at the front of your mat, go ahead and stand there. Again, the toes together. And then we're going to add a push-up into the sun salutation, the stationary sun salutation. So inhale the arms up, maybe a little back bend. Going to exhale to a forward fold. Going to inhale to a half lift and hold. Going to hold the half lift because the first time I do the sun salutation A, I'm going to do it without a full push-up. I'm going to do it from my knees. So on an exhale, come to a forward fold. And then we're going to step the left leg back, right leg back, and knees down. Now you can keep your knees up if you want, but if you're going to do a push-up on your knees, untuck the toes, slowly let yourself lower to the floor. And then here, press the tops of your feet into the mat, bringing your knees up. And then we're going to inhale up into a shallow cobra. So lifting the head, neck, and chest, and holding the posture, not your breath. And then let the head come down towards the floor on an exhale. On an inhale, we're going to push back into child. And then we're going to exhale up to downward dog. We tuck the toes under. We're in a tabletop stance. And then pushing our way up into a downward facing dog. We'll hold this for 3 breaths, letting everybody catch up. Breathing nice and slow. On your next inhale, bring the ankles up. Exhale, bend the knees. Look to the front of your mat. Step or walk up to the front. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. Now I'm going to do that again, just doing the full push-up version. So it's an inhale up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. We're going to exhale to high push-up and hold high push-up. If you're going to be doing it with your knees, you can be right on your knees right here. So here your shoulders are over your wrists. Your toes are tucked under. Now I'm going to teach this probably differently than you've seen it before, but on an inhale, I want you to come out over the top of your mat onto your tippy toes. Then exhale, come down to low push-up, keeping everything off of the floor. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Tops of the feet are touching the floor and your hands. And then we're going to exhale back to downward facing dog. 3 or 4 breaths here, just breathing in. Sign it out. Ha. Breathe in. Exhale it out. Breathe in. Exhale out. Inhale the ankles up. Exhale, bend the knees. Take your gaze to the front of the mat. Walking to the front of the mat. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. Okay, we're going to do 1 more of those, all on breath, all on flow. So inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to high push-up. Inhale, going forward out over the edge of our mat. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, ankles up. Exhale, bend the knees. Step to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands in front of the chest. So now we're going to move into a sun salutation B, which adds a Warrior 1 series to what we just did. So again, using the push-up version that you prefer doing, use that for the flow part, but then I'll walk you through the Warrior 1. We're going to do it similar, and we're going to have a pause the first round and then flow with breath the second. So the first part of sun salutation B is going into chair. So it's sending your hips back, framing the head with your arms, taking a look down to see if you can see your toes. If you don't see your toes, send your hips back a little bit further. We're continuing to hold the posture, not your breath. 1 more inhale here. On your exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to high push-up. Going to inhale out over the edge of your mat. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Going to be here for 2 breaths, just letting everybody catch up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, take the right leg up to the ceiling as high as you can. Exhale, take your gaze to the front of the mat. Step your foot up to the front. The left foot pivots, goes flat, points to the long edge of the mat. Bring your arms parallel to your left leg. Inhale, the shoulders up over the hips. We're going to hold this posture for a moment. So I want to tell you what you want to try to be doing with your feet. Pressing into the right toe mound pushing the front of the mat away, pressing into the pinky edge blade of your left foot. Again, stretching the mat out underneath our legs. Trying to square our hips to the front of the mat, pulling left hip forward, right hip back. One more breath here. Breathe it in, get tall. On an exhale, frame the right foot. On an inhale, bring it back behind you. On an exhale, lean forward, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale the left leg to the ceiling. Exhale, step it to the front of your mat. Inhale, bringing the shoulders up over the hips. Bringing the hands close to the ceiling. Continuing to breathe, but holding the posture. Pressing the front foot away, pressing into the pinky edge blade of our right foot, stretching the mat out. One more breath. Inhale here. Exhale, frame the left foot. Inhale, bring the left foot back. Exhale, come to the floor. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, the ankles up. Exhale, bend the knees. Step or walk to the front of your mat. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. We finish in chair. Inhale to chair. Exhale to standing. So now we're going to do one more of those, all with breath. So inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to push up. Inhale, extend. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, the arms up over the shoulders. Exhale, frame the right foot. Inhale that right foot back, out over the edge of our mat. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale the left foot up. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, shoulders over the hips. Exhale, frame the left foot. Inhale, left foot goes back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, ankles up. Exhale, bend the knees. Step or walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to chair. Exhale to standing. So that was a stationary sun A and a sun B. You deserve some really nice rest right now. So take the feet hip distance apart. Take the hands behind the hips, like putting your hands in your back pockets. A nice little back bend here. Open the chest to the ceiling. Continue to breathe. Then we're going to come forward, down towards the mat. Now you can take your peace fingers, grab the big toes, pull your chest to the floor, or if you like putting your wrists, hands underneath your feet, you can put your hands underneath your feet. Either way, pull the chest towards the floor. Continue to breathe. Release whatever grip you have. Inhale, reach for the floor. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale, up to standing. So I think we have I think I'm going to take it to the floor. I was going to do some balance, but based on the time I'm seeing, we're going to go ahead and take it to the floor with the sun salutation. So inhale up, exhale forward fold, inhale half lift, exhale high push up, inhale extend, exhale low push up, inhale upward facing or cobra, exhale downward facing dog. And then we're going to just hop a little closer to the center of our mat and move to child. So that's keeping the toes together, spreading the knees wide on the mat, sending the hips back towards the ankles, letting the forehead come down to the mat. Once your forehead is down to the mat, then see if you can take your fingers and pull the arms a little further forward. Again, doing what feels good for your body. So child is a restorative posture. So if you're ever going through a practice and get tired, one of the best places to go is to child. Then we'll slowly come up out of child and then take our way down to the floor and zip our legs up. Toes are touching. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. We're going to do what's called Sphinx posture. So press the tops of your toes into the floor. Push your hands and forearms into the floor. And then pull your chest forward. And then try to stretch out all the skin between the navel and the neck. So just pushing it forward as far as you can. Nice back bend here. This feels really good for you. You can take your hands wide on the mat and push your arms into the floor. Let the elbows come back down. We're going to take it over onto our back. If you have a block, I'd suggest grabbing it here. So we're going to take, if you have the block, put it up underneath your hips. If you don't have one, that's okay. And then take your feet up towards the ceiling, ankles over knees, knees over hips. And then take your arms up like Frankenstein arms. Point the fingers towards the ceiling. On an inhale, pull the toes and fingers towards your face. On an exhale, send them away. Continue riding your breath. Inhale to the face, exhale away. Inhale to the face, exhale away. Again, just riding your breath. Then find some stillness. Make fists with your hands. Put your fists together like you're holding a stick. And then I want you to make circles with your wrists and your ankles, keeping the hands connected. And then stop opposite direction. Then finding some stillness, let the hands come down to the floor. We're keeping the legs up. If you want a little core work here, take the knees to a 90-degree angle. If you're not feeling a little bit of a tug on the stomach, you can press your feet a little closer to the wall, maybe 2 or 3 inches. We'll hold this for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. If you want a little bit more, go for a SpaceX landing on a barge in the middle of the ocean, keeping the 90-degree angle on the knees. Slowly letting the feet come down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe hover for another 3, 2, 1. Let the feet come down to the floor. Press your hips up, move the block out to the side. Extend your feet to the end of the mat. Let the toes fall out to the side. I want you to get into a position where you can feel just very relaxed. position where your body does not feel like it needs to fidget. Then I'll just take you through a nice guided meditation. As you're lying there, let your eyes close. Let the cheeks below your eye sockets just slowly drift away. There's tension in your teeth. Create some space there. Your tongue is connected to the roof of your mouth. Let it fall away. Just going through and thinking of all the parts of your body that you just worked. Coming down from that nice, relaxed face. Going down through your neck. Out through your clavicles. Out to those strong shoulders that helped you with those push-ups. Continuing down throughout the body to the upper arms. Those arms that can pull things towards you or push them away. Down through the chest, that amazing cavity that holds and protects all of our vital organs. That moves with our breaths, that contracts and expands. Continuing down through our elbows, our forearms, down through our wrists, in our hands and our fingers. Those hands that can hold on to things, but also let them go. Figuratively, take that where you want. Continuing down through the abdomen, wonderful digestive system that helps us process food, that creates energy, that allows us to move. Thank you. Continuing down in through our hips, our thighs, our calves, those strong legs that can take us to places we want to go or back up. Down through our ankles, through the heel, the arch, the ball of our foot. Provides us a foundation, grabbing onto the earth. And letting any stress or energy that's left in your body to just leave out through your toes. Leave you here with just another 30 or 40 seconds of silent meditation, emptying your thoughts, or maybe giving thanks to those parts of your body that helped you through the practice. And ending our practice the way we started with 3 cleansing breaths. Just take a big, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Breathe it in. Sigh it out. Last one on your own. And then just pull your knees up into your chest. Rock side to side. Give yourself a hug, thanking yourself for coming to the mat today. And then rolling over to one side, where the other side feels comfortable. And once you're there, pressing the upper arm and hand into the floor, bringing yourself back up to an easy seated posture. So I always like to seal the practice. So raise your arms up towards the ceiling, press the palms together. Exhale, bring them down in front of the chest. Let me finish by saying the light in me honors all the light in you. Namaste.
Yay, thank you so much, David. That was awesome. Thank you for those of you who are able to stay on. We're gonna just talk through a couple of strategies that you can use day to day. So things that maybe David can show us as we sit at our desks at home or different things. We'll talk through that. And of course, like I said before at the beginning, we're recording this. So if you do need to go ahead and hop off, you can. But we'll record it and I'll make sure that it's posted in Slack. But yeah, David, do you want to, looks like you're getting set up there, but
going back to my office, yes.
You can show us the real deal. Before you get set up, do you want to talk a little bit about your certifications and what being trauma certified and the work that you do, what all of that means?
Yeah. So again, Y4C, Yoga for Change, that's it, that's our logo, is a nonprofit in the state of Florida, and started up about 8 years ago by our founder, Catherine Thomas. And so she experienced some recovery through yoga herself, and then found herself teaching in the carceral system down in Hawaii while she was in the Navy. And she decided to bring this to the populations here in North Florida, where she ended up moving after getting moved by the Navy into Jacksonville, and has been doing this ever since in those 4 populations that I mentioned in the beginning of the class. And so what trauma-informed means, so you have to think about the people that might be in substance abuse, at-risk youth, veterans, and people in the carceral system. No doubt that we've all experienced some kind of a trauma in our life, but the traumas that they might have experienced probably were very different than ours. There's a lot of sex trafficking in the female population, abuse with the children, certainly PTSD with the veterans, and then you name it, anybody going through a substance abuse program. So what trauma-informed means is that we do a practice that includes a little bit of talk therapy. So we begin the class with some themes that we talk about. We have 2 curriculums, one that's 6 pieces long, the other one's 11, and takes them through a journey, if you will. So the 6-week program is meant primarily for those going through the substance abuse programs, because usually that's about how many weeks that they'll be in a program in a typical situation. So we utilize that and take them on a journey all the way from being a place of gratitude to being in a place of vulnerability. And so, and in doing so, then we also, in our practice, from the physical posture standpoint, we avoid certain postures that might have been, part of or related to anything that might have been through sex trafficking. So any of the things like maybe a wide-legged forward fold, a cat-cow, some people have done frog. So those are all postures that we avoid. Anything where someone would feel vulnerable on a physical standpoint. And so that's kind of so the trauma-informed piece is that we're doing a little bit of talk therapy. We're not therapists. We're just people like them, but enabling a conversation to help them move through a bad time in their life. And from the adaptive yoga, so I just finished that training, and the adaptive yoga is working for people that have an ability or a non-ability, if you will. So someone that might have lost a limb or limbs, or may have things like multiple sclerosis, where they don't have the movement in their body that they normally would have. And being with them in a way that's non-judgmental and also helping them to feel their body. That's pretty much the high level view of that.
Cool. Yeah, that's such a cool way to care for others. And like we talk about all the time at RF Smart, we exist to transform customers and change lives, right? And so you're certainly taking the change life piece and applying it there. That's awesome. So now that you're set up in your office, can you talk us through maybe some things that during the day-to-day, some tips from working from home, maybe some light yoga stretches we could all do just sitting at our desk, things like that?
So it's so interesting enough. So one of my customers was Florida Blue, and the ergonomist there, her name was Joan Altavilla. And this is one of the best things that I ever got from her. So Florida Blue has a really large, and if you don't know what Florida Blue is, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida. It's an insurance company. And they have a lot of teleworkers, people that work from their home. And so we, in my previous role with another company, I sold products to them that were like, for instance, for ergonomic kind of situations. So we would get their teleworker set up from an ergonomic standpoint. But one of the things that she always shared with her groups as they were working from home, she would train them. She said, like, you know, what I really want you to do when you're working from home is get up and do a load of laundry. I mean, it's something as simple as that, as, you know, getting away from your desk, removing yourself from the environment that you're in all day long and getting out and doing some movement so that, you know, doing the load of laundry is like bending over, picking up some clothes, putting them in the laundry, and just, you know, so, you know, it's a 5-minute micro break. So 5-minute micro breaks are really good. My thing is that, and my students will tell you, I have cards and cards and cards of comments that the one thing that they've learned the most from taking yoga is to use their breath. So the thing is that we have a tendency, because we're in sales, we're in marketing, we're talking a lot, we become mouth breathers rather than nose breathers. And we're supposed to be nose breathers. Our body was built to take air in through our nose. It's our first line of defense against all kinds of things, and, you know, helps filter that out. And our tendency is to talk through our mouth, which brings in lots of air that's being unfiltered. Our mouths are meant to talk, but also to bite and chew and swallow. So I think the biggest thing we can do is, let's say we just finished a conference call where we're doing a lot of talking. Go ahead and just be silent. Put your lips together. Breathe through the nose. Try to breathe in nice and slow. And just relax. So that's what I find. That's what I do more often than anything else. The other thing is that, you know, maybe reading something or a quick meditation of some sort can do that for you. I mean, I know everybody from RF Smart comes from all walks of life. I happen to be a Christian faith practitioner, so I have I've got several little devotionals behind me. You know, some of the devotions are like one paragraph long, and I have some of those pages with a Post-it note on it that I can go to quickly and just kind of like, you know what, if I'm not having a great day, I know which Post-it note to go to pull that little chapter open, just to kind of give me a little brief moment of encouragement, whatever it is I need to get through that I might be experiencing at that particular time.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great advice. I didn't think about all of us being on calls or even just being at home with our families and be talking more than normal. So that's awesome. And we've got just a few more minutes here. So I thought maybe you kind of touched on meditation, but I don't know if any of you were able to read the article that Erin shared yesterday in Slack in the COVID channel, but if you haven't, it's really great. And I think that it kind of resonates with what we were talking about here, that we're all kind of experiencing grief together as we are grieving normal things in our lives, right? Like our ability to go out, to see friends and family. And so one of the things that they touch on that article is practicing mindfulness, which is definitely a part of yoga and meditation. So David, as we wrap up here, do you have any advice for that as we all kind of continue through our day-to-day?
So I think the one thing that I've learned in teaching most of my students, and most of them in the incarcerated system, the biggest thing that I found that where they grow is where they've owned their past. if you will, called honoring your story, if you will. Honor your story. Know that you can't change anything that happened before, but you can change what happens going forward. So as Stephen Morgan shared with us last Friday, you know, there are some things that we can control. So we can control our attitude, you know, those types of things. And so moving forward, I think that's, you know, that would be one of the big takeaways that I get from the guys that I teach, that they own whatever their story is. So, and if that's having a bad feeling or, you know, having some uncertainty, own it. You know, be vulnerable. I would also suggest if you have not seen it, there are 2 TED Talks by Brene Brown, B-R-E-N-E Brown, on vulnerability. And I would strongly suggest listening to both of those. It'll allow you, I think, to embrace what we conceive as a weakness and, you know, become stronger people.
Yeah, thank you, David. I love Brene Brown, so that's really great advice. So yeah, we've got just a couple more minutes, but kind of as we wrap up, I just wanted to thank those of you who made it until the end. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to people who are watching the recording. Thank you, David, for taking us through. If you guys enjoyed this and liked this, please provide feedback. So you can do that in the Slack channel where I posted this. You can provide feedback there, or you can email me directly. If you have questions for David, I know that he would be more than happy to speak with you personally. So yeah, with that, David, do you have anything to close with? Anything else?
Again, I'll end this with the way I started the class is that if you didn't like the practice today, that's okay with me. I know that, like I said, if you met one yoga teacher, you've met one yoga teacher. So yoga is for everyone. I have lots and lots of students that have said that. And so sometimes it's a matter of finding the right yoga practice that works for you.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much, David. Thank you, guys. I hope that you guys are all staying safe and that your families and friends remain healthy. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you, if something comes up, and hopefully we'll continue this and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.